It was the time when I used to work as a caretaker on night duty in a government hospital. I would just have to sit there on a bench in hospital ward and look after the patient. Everything was fine and alright except the very person I have to look after. The old patient was tall and thin. He was just a skeleton underneath the skin. He was in the worst phase of his life and you would never find him asleep. He was something else. He is not here. He is not just staring at this front wall, but he is looking beyond it to another world. He would not look around at all, just a straight gaze on the front wall. One day, while closing the window of his room, I felt sudden discomfort of some sort. I turned my head and found that old man's head is turned towards me, and he is staring me. I cannot explain the uneasiness it caused. It felt like he is looking into my soul. Soon my colleague appeared and I sincerely thanked God. We talked briefly and I handed over my log register. Next thing, I was out of the hospital. It must be around 1 am when I reached my neighborhood. From there, I had to walk on foot as the streets are too narrow for vehicles. It is a 10 minutes walk to home. Finally, I reached the street where my home is situated on the very end. What irritated me is the most about this street was that nobody would turn on their outdoor bulbs except my mother for me. It's a long and closed street, and without any light, it gets really dark. I was a little cautious as I had a few robberies incident previously. But that night, as I was entering, I saw somebody right in the middle of the street. I slowed down a little to observe. He was around 40 yards ahead, walking really slow, leaned heavily on the right side in a funny stance, and he was in the darkness as the only light bulb was at the end outside my door. He isn't a robber or a thief, my mind told me. I am in danger, I said to myself. I yelled loudly, "Who are you?" And that's exactly when I was right upon him. I saw him and I saw his face. My Lord may have mercy. That was the very same, very real so-called prisoner I left in the hospital an hour ago. Leaned to the right side wearing the same gown, barefoot. He was looking at me as I passed by him. He turned around slowly and walked to me. I did not run, but I walked super fast and reached my home, rang the bell furiously and prayed to God that my father gets the door as soon as he usually gets. I kept pressing the doorbell while staring that man approaching me slowly and slowly. What is going to happen if he comes near me? Should I shout or attack? I cannot let this incident be an embarrassment for me. Thankfully, my father opened the door. Before going inside, I looked back and he just vanished in thin air in front of me. I just can't believe what had happened with me. On the next day morning, I got to know that on the same night, the patient also died just an hour ago after my departure. And this is truly something which a spooky event which had happened to me in real life.